Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is August Rose Crothers. I'm an author, poet, content creator, founder of a literary magazine, and more. Today we are just hanging out in my cozy room. I got my notes for today's video. Hanging out in my cozy chair with my brand new cozy blanket gifted to me by Comfy Luxe. If you are interested, I have a link down below and you can use the code AugustRose for 10% off. This blanket has been the best thing I have been gifted all year. So today we are going to be talking about my personal criticisms on popular BookTok books. I love to read. I love romance. I love poetry. I can read all genres, but those are definitely my two favorites. We're just going to be talking about a handful of popular BookTok books today that just really disappointed me. BookTok, the corner of the internet that has gotten arguably hundreds of thousands of people back into the reading. I read someone say today that BookTok single-handedly saved and ruined reading forever. And I think that's a fair judgment because it did bring a lot of people back into reading, but it's also arguably made reading kind of a fast fashion or a thing for consumption and not comprehension. Basically, the gist of what I'm saying here is that while there's a lot of great things about BookTok, and there's also criticisms. Quick disclaimer, reading is subjective. So if you loved these books, that is so great. I'm so happy for you. These books just didn't hit the mark for me, and I'm going to tell you why. You totally don't have to feel the same way that I do. If you want to argue with me, you can go ahead and do it in the comments below. So the first BookTok book that left me disappointed, and this was the first one ever to leave me disappointed. I mean, a book that BookTok recommended me was The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I read this about a little over 2 years ago, and I was so excited for this book because I had heard so many great things. And in all honesty, this book is my least favorite BookTok book I have ever read, and probably one of my least favorite books I've ever read. Again, reading is subjective. So if you loved this book, if you love Ali Hazelwood, that is awesome. I'm so happy for you. For me, I really hate to say this because I don't like to say this about books, but I did hate this book. Like, truly gave it a 2 out of stars, and that's being kind. What I personally didn't like about it is I just couldn't relate to Olive. She just felt like this same kind of regurgitated, quirky female character that I read in a bunch of other books or seen on TV, and with that, like, it was hard to get into the story because I can get past a main character that I'm not really fond of if the story is great, but I just couldn't get with it. And also, if I read another Adam Driver fan fiction, sorry, my dog is eating his breakfast at 12:51 in the afternoon. So if I read another Adam Driver fan fiction that's not even good, I'm gonna slam my head into a wall. This one is Verity by Colleen Hoover. I read this one fairly soon after The Love Hypothesis, and let me just say, this is the one and only Colleen Hoover book I've ever read. Honestly, it wasn't bad. I didn't really like it at the beginning, but then like the whole middle section of the book was actually really great. It had me very intrigued. I liked the characters. It had me on suspense, but it also had this like kind of romance aspect to it. Overall, like, not bad. But then I got to the ending, and I personally hated the ending of this book because the ending of this book really just felt like she was trying to do like plot twists like coming out of nowhere, but it felt like there was at least 5 times at the end of the book where the book could have just ended, and then it didn't, and it just kept going. And then she released a extended version with an extended chapter. And I went to Target, I stood in the book aisles of Target reading that last chapter of that book once it was released because I didn't want to purchase another one. And I'm so glad I didn't because it just was the same thing. It was her trying to like do another plot twist, and then like she dies, but then she doesn't die, and then she gets these letters, but these letters aren't real. And I don't know if that's actually, I don't even remember if that's even what happened because the ending was so just like plot twisty confusing. That's what it felt like. It honestly, the ending of this book ruined it for me, in my honest opinion, even though the middle was so great. Those are gonna be the 2 books that I think I'm the meanest about, and I just wanted to get them out of the way because I really don't like being mean about books as a writer, because I know that authors very often put their heart and soul into these books. So we have Before We Were Strangers. This isn't a super popular BookTok book, but it is a BookTok book, and so many people loved it. And I could have loved this book if it was told from the female love interest's perspective. Male interest in this book, he just gave me the ick, and so I couldn't really get down with it. But other than that, like, the story was good. It's kind of like a friends to lovers, but over a very long period of time. kind of book, and then you're kind of like unraveling the history of the main characters throughout the book and like what their time has been like over the last 15 years or whatever. The next one we're going to talk about is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagiara. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. I'm so sorry. Little Life. I actually DNF'd this book. I only got about 300 pages in. And you see the tags here because the beginning was very good. I really liked it. But the only thing is that it is a very sad book and I had to DNF it. And after DNFing it, I went and I looked up how the book goes because I just felt like it was too emotionally sad for me to finish, and I wanted to know how it ended at least. And from what I read, this book is basically a trauma. And with that, I just feel like, from everything I know in this book, it just feels like there's a lot of unnecessary trauma, and it can be very hard to read for certain readers, and I think this could inflict a lot of emotional pain on readers, and not in like a fun, cutesy way. I mean in a, I pray to God this book never gets a movie adaptation way. Main criticism on this book is, was it really necessary? My last book that I'm going to give like full-on criticisms about is Daydream by Hannah Grace from the Maple Hills romance series. So Icebreaker. Icebreaker is a very controversial BookTok book because you either love it or you hate it. Icebreaker, the first book in the series, was very much like a guilty pleasure read for me. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that Icebreaker is like a groundbreaking book, but it was enjoyable and entertaining. Enough so that I read Wildfire, the second book in the series. The second book in the series I genuinely liked. And I genuinely liked the love interests, the stories, the backgrounds that the characters had, and how Hannah Grace kind of delved into those backgrounds. And then Daydream came. And let me tell you, I was so excited for Daydream. I had this book on pre-order for like 6 months, and I was so excited for it. And then the first 150 pages of this book, I genuinely really loved and enjoyed. Like, these two main characters are so cute. The romance was so good. My main criticism on this book is that it is too damn long. In my humble opinion, this book could have been cut like 150 pages and it would have been like the best book in the Maple Hills series. I think Hannah Grace is doing another book in the series, which of course I'm gonna read it. But I do hope it's not this long. I have two popular BookTok books in my hands that have very unfortunately disappointed me. Like, I don't have any real criticism on it. It's more so like I just couldn't get the hang of it, and that left me disappointed because so many people loved them and I really wanted to love them, but I just couldn't. And those two books are Book Lovers and Beach Read by Emily Henry. You can go ahead and yell at me. I wasn't super fond of these books. Okay, so let me break it down actually. So Book Lovers, I DNF'd. I couldn't really like stay interested. It wasn't a bad book by any means. I don't really have any real criticism. It just wasn't for me. So I DNF'd it. And I don't think I'm gonna pick it up again. But with Beach Read, I was very 50-50 on this book. Like, I would go through spurts reading this book where I absolutely loved it and I was very interested, and then I would go through spurts where I just felt like I was dragging to kind of get to like the plot lines that were interesting. So people have absolutely loved this book and rated it 5 stars time and time again, and sad that I can't rate that rating for this book. Maybe I'll pick it up again some other time. I did love Emily Henry's People We Meet on Vacation, so I have high hopes for her next read that I'm gonna do, which is Happy Place. Again, reading is subjective. Those are just my personal opinions. If you disagree with me, feel free to argue with me in the comments. If you agree with me, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you like videos like this, or if you like cozy vlogs or writing vlogs, please subscribe to my channel for more. It really helps small channels like mine grow. And yeah, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. I hope you liked it, and I will see you guys soon.